month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
There's a new food show sheriff in town, Podna. Trey's Chow Podcast Live will feature celebrity chefs and pitmasters with celebrity mixologists with creative cocktail menus from distilleries statewide. We'll have farmers, ranchers, wildlife experts, fishermen, and more, all for the culinary world and the foodies. Live from the Spoony Studios on the iHeartRadio platform, Trey's Chow Podcast Live.
And here we are again for another Friday with Trey's Chow Live in the Spoony Studios here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And we've got Patrick and we've got Ron. And today we got Chef Clint Conaway.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Clint?
Good, sir.
I've known Clint a long time. This is gonna be a great interview.
Yes, sir.
So we're just going to get right down to it, and we're going to talk a bit today about his career and what he's done, and he's done some interesting things and where he is now, and where you can find some of his deliciousness that he creates for everybody.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit. So when did you decide? Clint, first of all, where are you from originally?
I was born and raised in Weatherford, Texas.
Weatherford. So
Yep.
you're a Texas boy.
Yep.
Those are always the best kind. Texas.
Proud of it.
Proud of it. That's right.
Yep.
So when you started off, how young were you when you first realized that you wanted to be a chef? What gave you the inspirational bug to start cooking?
Even as a kid, I was talking to you earlier about that Great Chefs of the of the World on PBS.
Yeah.
I was watching that show before I ever even started cooking. But one time, my buddy, his dad, ran the Driscoll Hotel in Austin. We went down there for a little spring break, and I took a tour of the kitchen, met the chef that day, and I knew that day that's what I wanted to become, was a chef. So
That was a great. Driscoll
awesome.
was a great hotel.
it's really cool.
Yeah, and we talked about that show and about how you on PBS. PBS does a lot of great shows, but that was kind of cool. I don't remember that show, but the way you talked about, all they did was show the food in the chef's hands.
Yeah, you never saw the chef at all.
Boy, has that not changed?
Yeah, just the food.
It's the other way around now.
It sure is.
You see all the chefs and little of the food.
That's right.
It's celebrity status, but that's what happens.
Yeah, some of them don't even cook anymore.
That's right. That's right. No, they create the menu. But that's right. That's why they get busy. So you did the Driscoll Hotel. Then where'd you go from there after you saw that?
I had to finish up high school. That was still in high school. I got out of high school and messed around with a little bit of junior college and knew that wasn't going to be the road for me. Yeah. So I enlisted in Ames Academy, which is a defunct cooking school now. It was in Dallas. I went that. I graduated top of my class, best in knife skills, and then started working. I had to do an internship. I worked at the Harvey Hotel for a little bit, and then I went to work for my mentor chef. His name was Willem DeFroy, and he started Sambuca's.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I like
still
Sambuca's.
around. He was the founder of the food, and he had opened his own restaurant called the Ocean Grill, and I started working there. And he had fired everybody, and I became his sous chef, and
took off.
That's where I learned for the love of the food.
For the love of the food. Ames Academy, how long have they been there? But before you went to, do you know?
I think they were around. They were a bar school to begin with.
Oh, they were.
Then they went into the culinary side, and I think they ran that for maybe 8 years after that.
How long were you in school? How long was your schooling there?
It was about a year and a half, but it was all day.
Every day?
It was an 8 hour.
Yeah.
8 hour, and then we had to do almost a 3,000 hour.
Oh, wow.
Extern.
So when you were in that cooking school, you pretty much learned everything, correct?
In school, you learn techniques, terms, safety, sanitation, type stuff like that. But really learning is at the
on the job. On the job.
That's true with any kind of.
Because some of the chefs will say it was for them, it's not for them. They just kind of know when they get started, kind of like how
it's what you put into it. A lot of you get out of it what you put into it, and like there's a lot of terms and techniques and
I do think you're correct about on the job. Being a restaurateur, I'm a firm believer that you learn most of your work on the job. That's with any job, really. I believe school is good if you can do that, but I really think that you learn all the skills and all your you gain all your knowledge stuff on the job, making mistakes, trying new different things, mixing things, trying menus, trying concepts, that type of deal.
Learn from your mistakes, and each restaurant you work at, there's something to learn from, good or bad, and that's what I tried to do. And as younger, I didn't have a wife or a kid or, responsibilities like that. I just worked at places where I could just learn, and I just wanted to learn from the best that was around. I worked for Louise Lamsendorf here in Fort Worth at Bistro Louise.
Oh, yeah.
I worked there. So I like to say I was European trained, but I didn't have to go anywhere to get the training. So
your first job, what was it like the first day you walked in your first chef job when you walked? Can you remember?
Oh,
you're not that old.
You're nervous.
Yeah, you're nervous.
Really a funny story that my very first chef job, actually, I got fired from it. And he wanted me to cook potatoes, and they stayed in the pot so long that he went to go grab the potatoes out, and it was just water. And he said, "Let's take a little walk." And he walked me outside and said, "This is going to be your last day." And so I went home. I actually cried on the way home. That's a story. But I didn't want to get fired. I always wanted to be a chef, and I got fired from my very first chef job. But later that day, the next day, the owner from the restaurant calls me and says, "Don't bother coming in today." And I'm like, well, why is that? He said, "Well, we're closed." I go, "We're closed on Sundays now?" He goes, "No, we're closed forever." So that night, that guy that fired me, he also got fired.
Oh, wow.
I remember that.
Well, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're both going to get fired no matter what.
Yeah.
That's the way the restaurant business works, boy. Here they go. And the funny thing is, we bought some restaurants. My dad bought a lot of restaurants, and they never tell the people what's going on. Most of them don't tell they're going to be sold or it's going to trade hands until they actually happen. Until the bam, keys in the door.
Yeah, you've been in the business long enough. You'll show up to work one day and the doors will be locked. Yeah, it's happened a couple of times.
Yeah, because they think it's going to create a bad working environment. Lots of times it does. Yeah. Because people are scared. They're not sure what's the job, what the future is. Can they feed their family? Can they pay their car? I mean, it's
bad situation.
Bad situation. So, what was after you left there? Where'd you go?
Where was that? The hotel in the Willem DeFroy. I worked for him for a minute, and then I also wanted to be a chef to learn to travel, growing up in Weatherford, you don't see a whole lot. So I wanted to go and see places, and doing the whole Dallas and Fort Worth thing, I was just traveling to and from work. So one day I just said, you know what? And that was like in the beginnings of the internet. And I got on and I blasted my resume everywhere I could, from India, Ireland, New York.
You didn't care where you went.
I just wanted to go somewhere. Yeah. And I got a phone call from Montana. These people were
that's right. I remember that.
A lodge, Eagle Nest Lodge in Hardin, Montana, right on the Bighorn River. And the first time I ever got on an airplane was to go up there and do my little cooking test. And they flew me up there, and I did my thing. It was the first time I ever made a bowl of soup was there. I didn't even know how to make it. I just boiled potatoes and kept thinning it down until it was soup consistency. And they still say that was the best soup that they ever had in their life. That was the first time.
That was okay. What was the name of that lodge again?
Eagle Nest Lodge.
Eagle's Nest Lodge in Billings, Montana. Hardin, Montana.
Yeah, east of Billings.
Okay, you never been on a plane before. How long? So when you got on that plane, how long a flight? Did you have to take two different planes?
I went through Denver and I had to catch another flight and stuff. And that was a big deal. Never been on an airplane.
That had to be a big deal for you being a young chef. I mean, that had a big deal.
It was pretty cool. And then they offered me the job right there on the spot, but they still had another interview. And I said, "Look, go ahead and interview this other guy to make sure." And they did, and then they called me, and I packed up everything I had and put it in a Jeep Wrangler and drove to Montana.
Yeah, and so that was beautiful. You were on the river up there, right? Didn't they specialize in fishing or something?
Trout, yeah, brown trout and rainbow trout. We also had a wing shooting program. They hunted pheasant, Hungarian partridge.
That's awesome.
Ducks.
So did you prepare all that there at on that menu?
The bighorn is catch and release on the fish.
Okay.
You can keep it, but it's recommended that you don't. So a lot of the guys didn't keep that. We did have fish. I bought trout from elsewhere and so forth, but we did shore lunches. Sometimes I'd go out with the guys on the boat and we'd grill on the shore.
Oh, that's neat. Wherever they were fishing, they just pull over. That's good. Yeah. How'd that work? You just put all the stuff on the boat, or was it boat?
Coolers. They're big McKenzie River boats. Area carry a couple coolers and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. And I became best friends with all the fly fishing guys. I learned how to fly fish, and on their days off, that's what they did. And I didn't want to be a client to them, so I had to learn to tie all my own knots and my flies and all that stuff too. Because I didn't want to be having them work on their day off. They're taking me fishing. So.
Was the menu versatile there?
Yeah, it was up to me. I could try whatever I wanted and experiment.
So did you have steak and fish? I mean, what was it like the menu like there?
Yeah, you're in a lodge. You try to do hearty type stuff like that, and we'd do a little appetizer hour, first course, main course, and a dessert every night, and it would change. And we'd also do a gourmet breakfast in the morning, and a lot of times I just did some lunches that were packed out. But every once in a while, I did get to go and do it on the shore, so it was really awesome.
Would the client pay for you to do it on the shore, or is that something that
No, we just included it.
Oh, okay, you just included. Okay,
like if you had different packages, the chef could come with you. They'd probably charge it a little bit more.
That's neat. That had to be fun to get out of the kitchen and be outdoors.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was best of both worlds for me.
That's really neat. Yeah. And how long were you there?
We were there a little over 3.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you married at that time?
Nope.
No.
But the funny story is, my boss actually became my wife.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I was working for her and her husband, and her husband had gotten sick and passed of cancer. And I stayed on. I stayed on, and we kind of fell in love. And she was originally from Texas, and so when the lodge sold, I brought her home back to Texas.
Oh, so the lodge sold to different. Okay.
Yeah, because he passed, and it was a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
So
was it a big lodge?
Yeah, we had 8 rooms, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far was it from like the airport, or
they flew into Billings for sure, and Hardin is like right on the cusp of the Indian reservation.
Okay.
Crow Indian reservation.
Okay.
So we're way out there.
Wow.
Right on the Bighorn.
What was your favorite thing to cook there? What was your favorite thing that you ever made at the lodge?
I started messing around with different flavors and stuff. I got into making like handmade pot stickers of all crazy things.
Oh, wow. I love pot stickers.
Yeah, just for a little.
I love pot stickers.
I mean, these people, they didn't expect that kind of food because I started playing around with the hors d'oeuvres and stuff. So it allowed me to experiment and play around and test stuff. And it's also like a couple first times where I had to go speak and introduce myself and talk about the food. And it helped me get over, being nervous around people and stuff like that. So the first couple of times I was pretty nervous talking to the folks, but I got over it by the end of it.
The funny thing is people look for experiences, and that's a great experience. You can go to a lodge, you can meet the chef, get eat his food he's made, prepared, and talked about it. I mean, that's really a neat deal.
It led to a lot of things. One guest came in, and he sat on the board of the American Institute of Food and Wine out of Baltimore, and he invited me to go to Baltimore and cook a dinner for their chapter, about 115 people, and he flew me first class to Baltimore and had a limo driver waiting for me when I got out with a little nameplate and everything. Man, I felt like I was a big deal. And Robert Mondavi and Julia Child sat on that board at that time.
Oh, wow.
The both of them. So I got to do a Montana-inspired dinner.
Was it good? Of course it was good.
Well, I did some crazy stuff. I did like a elk carpaccio.
Oh, wow.
Antelope consomme. I did.
What does el carpaccio consist of, and how's it made? How's it?
Carpaccio is typically a beef shaved real thin, served raw. So on that elk carpaccio, I just rolled it in some crushed peppercorns, froze it, and then shaved it real thin. It's usually served with horseradish.
Oh, I bet that was good.
And some little radishes and stuff like that.
I love elk meat.
It just melts
in your mouth.
Really good for you.
Yeah.
No fat.
No fat. Yeah, that's good. I don't know. Look at me. I think it looked like I ate some fat.
Fat's good now.
Fat's good. Yeah. Fat boys like to eat. Look at me.
Yeah. And under each one of their tables, I wanted to bring some Montana to them. And there's a beer up there called Moose Drool.
Moose Drool?
Yeah.
That's the name of the beer?
It's made out of Missoula, Montana. So I had flown a 6-pack of Moose Drool to set under each person's chair in the whole dinner, and they all got that complimentary, a 6-pack of Moose Drool from Montana.
You can't fly any more liquids on the airplane, and that suck. That was how long ago was that? When was that?
I didn't fly with it.
You shipped it.
I had it shipped up.
Okay. Now, you probably said I wasn't listening to you very well, was I?
That was in the 2000s, 99, 2000, 2001.
Boy, it's changed now. It's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So you went back, you were at the lodge, and then did you move back down here after it sold?
Yeah. One other thing about the lodge, because I wanted to travel and all that kind of stuff. Well, every year, the lodge, I only worked 8 months out of the year, and I was paid for full year.
Yeah.
So I had 4 months paid vacation.
You worked. You're like a school teacher. You worked 8 months and got paid and then you got paid for 12.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a deal.
And 4 months off paid vacation. So I used that to travel. We ended up going. We'd go to Cabo, like you grew up in Florida.
Yeah,
we go to Cabo for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Every year for those 3 years. And we spent the 2000, the whole scare of 2000.
Yeah. Y2K.
Yeah, Y2K. I was in Cabo San Lucas.
I never thought that was going to happen. That's just me. I'm not superstitious or anything. I don't know what's going to happen.
So drinking tequila.
They throw a lot of things on you nowadays, and you got to decipher if you think it's going to happen or not. I just don't think.
So if I thought it was going to happen, I'd want to be having fun in Cabo.
There's a lot of culinary experience in Cabo too. I mean, you can get a lot of different kind of foods and great culinary experience
flavors
down there.
We'd fish and catching tuna, and I was doing seared tuna, rare, fresh out of the ocean. That's where I was introduced to like coastal Mexican cuisine.
Oh yeah,
that's the good stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of I really like that type of food.
You learn a lot of that, and then there's a lot of fresh fish in Mexico. There's all kinds of stuff in Mexico.
Yeah, I caught mahi. We caught striper. We caught tuna.
What's the difference between coastal Mexican cuisine and central?
I mean, obviously the seafood part of it, and just Mexico's really cool because the food's regional.
Right, depending on where you are in Mexico, it's regional. Yeah.
And I just like those the spicy flavors, jalapenos, ceviche,
but not overpowering like we talked about a while ago with the spices.
Right. Ceviche, the fresh lime and stuff. There was a place we'd stay, limes growing on the trees, so everything was fresh and
right.
It was a really
fresh
cool
just makes such a big deal. It's so big now. I talk about this to every chef that's here. Fresh now, and
especially when it comes to fish.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
You've seen that. Have you seen that commercial about making bad choices in your life, like choosing gas station sushi?
Oh,
have you seen that?
Yeah.
The guy's stomach's.
That's not a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea. Whatever gave somebody the idea of putting sushi in a gas station anyway?
Yeah, it's everywhere apparently.
It is now. Yeah, they make it and ship it out.
I always tell people about the fish. Being a fisherman, and fish is very versatile. It's like one of my favorite mediums to use when cooking. But even when you go to the grocery store, you walk by, you smell that smell. Fish is not supposed to smell at all.
No, I know. Yeah,
not even. And people get a raw deal. Oh, it's fishy. I don't like to eat fish because it's fishy, but it's because they've had it and it's been not fresh.
And so their preconceived notion is to know I don't like it, I'm not going to try it.
They eat it one time and they never try it again, and it's a shame.
But that's why I say with everything now, there's so many culinary experiences now in today's time. I mean, it's just food and chefs is just gone crazy, the culinary world, and a lot of people won't try new things because they have preconceived notions about what it tastes. But if they'll try it and it's cooked or prepared properly, then they always pretty much like it.
Yeah, and you got to try it, but
got to try it.
And if you did get a wrong experience, maybe try it again. I don't know. But
I try so many things. There's one thing I'm not going to try though. Have you seen that craze going on the internet with that eating the live octopus thing in the bowl?
Oh,
I'm not doing that.
I did see that.
I'm not doing it.
I've tried a lot of stuff too.
I'm going to draw the line at a live octopus.
I got to ask you a question. What's the craziest thing you have eaten?
What's the craziest thing I've eaten?
Yeah.
Squid, or octopus, because I wasn't sure I had octopus tacos.
Yeah.
And they were good. They were good. Well, okay, I had them twice. The first time they were real good. Second time they were kind of chewy, and I just the first time they were prepared properly.
Yeah.
And the second time they weren't.
Rubber bands.
Yeah. Which calamari can be, if it's not prepared, will be chewy too. So
you can help that out. When you do fried calamari, the trick with that is buttermilk. Marinate that stuff in buttermilk, and something in the chemical breaks it down and tender every time.
Oh, that's good. You don't want tender calamari. Yeah. I tell you, it's good stuff. So, but you had a funny story too about when you were starting out as a chef, where we talked about, you talked about before, where you did something with the tomato sauce. Tell me that story.
Oh, that was my very first job at working at a Harvey Hotel in Dallas, externship, and long day, been there probably 10, 12 hours, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And end of the day, it's how to put everything in the cooler. And the last thing I had to put in there was this big old 5-gallon bucket of tomato bisque or whatever it was. And back then they didn't have colored chef coats. It was white, and you walking into the cooler, and I pick it up and put it on the shelf, hit the bottom of it, drop the bucket, and it explodes all over the entire cooler. I'm wearing it. It's all over the entire cooler on the ceiling, on the floor, on the product, and all the chefs there, you know, they were kind of snickering. It was the end of the day, and they say, "See you later, youngster. Have fun cleaning that up."
You were in a white chef coat.
Yeah.
It was 5 gallons.
5 gallons.
Is like 5 gallons of blood. It gets on everything.
Yeah, there
can't-
wasn't 1 ounce of it left in the bucket. It was everywhere else.
How long did it take you to clean all that up?
It was two plus hours.
Was it a lesson you learned from it?
I don't put away my own food, I guess. Tell somebody else to do it now.
Yeah, tell somebody else to do it. That's also too. 5 gallons of tomato sauce is like 40-something pounds. So I mean that would be lifting it up would be
Just caught the bottom of the shelf.
just caught the bottom of the shelf.
Yeah.
What was your? Is there a lasting impression that you learned when you were working at Harvey Hotels, or something that you really learned that stuck with you at that particular job?
At the hotel, to not work in a hotel.
No, wait, to not work in a hotel.
Yeah, because if the deal of the hotel is like, okay, we had a bad weather day, right? And they're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in tomorrow. Well, there's a room right upstairs for you.
Oh yeah.
So we had to stay there one night, and you're at work and you can't get away. It's like being on a cruise ship.
I've been on a cruise ship.
Yeah,
I wouldn't work on a cruise. Well, some people like to travel, but if you're young, maybe. But yeah,
I've entertained that when I was younger, but I found out that when everybody's at port and you think you're going to go walking around, that's where they pick up the goods for the next leg of the trip.
Yeah.
So that's when the real work starts.
That's when the real work starts.
So I decided not to go that route.
So you said don't work in a hotel. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Chef Blaine, we just hear, from Grace and Little Wasp, and he told me, I asked him what his most lasting memory was, and he said that he never wanted to see another tray of bacon in his life because for 2 years I made him cook trays of bacon every morning at the hotel. Every morning, bacon trays and trays and trays and trays, and so he just didn't want to cook
large
bacon.
volume stuff. Large volume cooking for sure.
You know, a big thing now is those boutique hotels. Smaller, more farm fresh, creative chef menus and stuff.
Yeah, they were building a couple of those in San Antonio. I was down there for a while.
Yeah, they're building a lot. They're building a lot of them here now. They're building one on over off Magnolia. Build one on Stockyards.
Yeah.
And I went to an opening and I went to one of the menu tastings. It was some pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
And they had a really creative menu and a
lot of hotels are going to the chefs with their name on it in the restaurants and stuff in the bottom, not just a generic name for the restaurant anymore. They're including chefs. A few of my chef buddies from San Antonio got involved in that down there. So.
Yeah, the Omni over here in Dallas, Omni in Fort Worth, the Worthington in Fort Worth. I mean, they all have restaurants now. It's chefs are to create different farm fresh menus, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
the food's good.
Yeah. I'd probably work in a hotel like that, but I'm not. What I meant was,
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
Yeah,
it's a whole different. It's a whole different concept working there.
Right.
It's a whole different deal.
It's a lot of people, a lot of moving parts, and pieces.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you came back. We gotta take a break. We're gonna take a break in a few minutes, but right now we're gonna finish one story real quick. You came back. And then what was your first trip when you came back?
Well, I took about 6 months off and kind of working on my little cabin out at the Brazos River. And
you live out west. If you live out west Fort Worth quite a ways, you
Santo live on the
Yeah.
on the Brazos out there.
On the Brazos River.
Yeah. I took a little time off to kind of collect my head from the whole lodge thing. It was a lot of work. Some days we'd work 46 days in a row.
Right.
76 days in a row. One day off.
Because there's no weekends off up there. Right. Weekends would be
seasonal. So I was a little bit burned out, but I landed a job in San Antonio. So
San Antonio.
Up and moved again and moved back down, moved to San Antonio.
I love San Antonio.
And I worked at a little French bistro called Bistro Vitel for Damien Wattel.
You were French trained originally, right? That's what you weren't French trained, but that's what you've cooked French for 7 years.
My mentor was Willem de Froy, and he was European, so he was Belgian actually. Right. So that's very similar. There's more 3-star Michelin restaurants in Belgium than there is in France.
Okay.
So that's where I basically learned the European style cooking. But I started working for Damien Wattel at a Bistro Vitel.
Right.
And I was the chef there. I became his chef. He was a chef owner, but I was doing all the cooking. He said he was going to get a cardboard cutout of him and just stick it in the back because he doesn't do anything anymore.
He wrote the menus off. So did you write the menus?
We did, but we had a changing
cardboard cutout.
But we had a changing pre-fee menu that changed on the daily.
Yeah.
5 different apps, 5 entrees, and a dessert.
It changed on the daily?
Mm-hmm. Every day.
Wow.
And I was in charge of all that, and we won Best French restaurant in San Antonio. 4 out of the 8 years that I was there at the helm. So.
Okay, we're gonna go to a break here because we're capitalists and we like to be able to pay our bills because these guys over here want their dadgum bills paid. And we want to keep our studio and everything intact. So we're going to go to a little break here for about 3 minutes, and we're going to be back to talk to Chef Clint about some more food and what he's doing now and where you can find his food today. See y'all in a minute. Bye.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Oh, here we are, back on this crazy thing they call Spoony. All right, folks, so we're back here with Chef Clint.
Yep.
And they are giving me a voice again on a worldwide platform. Who does that, Patrick? Huh? Who does that?
I'm not sure what we were thinking, but so far it's going pretty well, man.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. Chef's looking at me like, hey, I can't. What's he saying? We got to give them an earplug.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we're back here with Chef Clint. So let's talk about San Antonio. So you ended up in San Antonio.
Yeah. I was working
and where were you working again in San Antonio?
Bistro Vitel.
Bistro Vitel.
Yeah. It's just a little neighborhood. It's not there anymore. It lasted. He had a 20-year run.
Oh, wow.
On it.
That's a long time for a restaurant nowadays, 20-year run.
For sure. And it had a lot of famous people in there.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones was a regular.
I like Tommy Lee. He's Tommy Lee no matter what he does. That's why I like him.
He didn't change.
Yeah. Met him twice.
At a couple times, Benson owned the Vikings football team.
Oh, yeah.
He would eat in there on the daily. There was about 4 billionaires in San Antonio, and any given time, all 3 of them would be there eating at one time. I saw Mr. Benson pull up in a Rolls-Royce limousine and walking across the parking lot, bent over and picked up a nickel out of the parking lot.
Well, that'll tell you, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he got that Rolls Royce.
Wow, it gave me good. I was like, really?
How he got that. That's how he got that Rolls Royce limousine.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you were there. What was your favorite thing to cook at that bistro?
That's where I started learning a lot of the French techniques of braising. Braising is low and slow in the oven.
Sure.
Usually with wine or some flavorful liquid, chicken stock, veal stock, onions, your mirepoix, which is carrots, onions, and celery. Just the rudimentary form of French cooking.
Right.
We did a lot of that kind of stuff. So coq au vin was one. That's this older chicken braised in red wine and veal stock and onions and mushrooms and stuff like that, and then it all gets reduced again, and that becomes the sauce. And duck confit is another.
Oh, I like duck confit.
Yeah, that's another French technique that they use a lot. People are confiting all kinds of things now.
They sure are.
It was originally probably duck or chicken. It was a way to preserve the food before refrigeration. Rillettes is the same kind of a thing. That's basically a pate, but it's covered in fat. So the fat cap seals it.
Fat cat, boy, it sounds good, doesn't it? Fat cap.
The good stuff.
Hey, fat cap.
Yeah. It's funny.
That's what I tell everybody. I got a fat cap.
Yeah.
So what did you do when you left San Antonio? Where'd you go from there?
Well, I did a little bit of stint at Max's Wine Dive in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
And they would, they did a big promotion of the chefs and stuff, and that's where I got involved with the paella competition down there.
Now, what is the paella competition? Tell me to explain what that is.
It's
real quick.
Corona puts it on every year, and it's the national dish of Spain, which is paella. It was originally more like a peasant's dish. It's typically made with rice, but there's a lot of seafood components in it. There's wild game in it. It's just like everything in a pot almost.
Is it complex or is it pretty?
It can be. It's really simple, though. I mean, it depends on what you want to put into it, but it's a specialized pan that's about 2 inches, really flat, like a big giant iron skillet.
So it's long? It's long?
Big and round.
Is it cast iron or just a...
No, they're it's almost thin to get a lot of heat transfer on it. And it starts out with a sofrito, which is onions and some herbs and stuff, and then you start layering your flavors in. And then it's typically made with bomba rice, which is a short grain rice. It absorbs the liquid. Saffron is very prevalent. A lot of times they'll be yellow, but they make squid ink ones and all kinds of ones. But anyway, the paella competition, they had 2 different categories. You do a traditional and then a contemporary, and chefs from all over the world came. Chefs from Mexico, celebrity chefs from New York, some of those earlier winners from those shows. They were there, and what year was it? I think it was the 4th one. I won that one.
Oh, wow.
With my paella. I did a Texas themed paella.
What was it?
I had, instead of the saffron, I would use cumin, which is very prevalent in chili. So it almost tasted like chili. And I put everything that you can find in Texas in there. Rabbit, venison. I put crawfish in there from over at Houston way. And then what really topped it off is I put rattlesnake in it.
Oh, rattlesnake. Wait a minute.
I did.
Rattlesnake. Wait, that brings back memories of something you told me.
Oh, rattlesnake.
Didn't you used to catch a bunch of rattlesnakes one time?
Yeah, me and my buddy, Nasty Mike.
Nasty Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nasty Mike. That's his name.
Yeah, that's his name. Me and him, we turned in 86 pounds of rattlesnakes one year.
86 pounds of rattlesnakes, Patrick. 86 pounds.
But the funny thing was, they would give you a $100 prize for the most pounds and a $100 prize for the biggest, and we didn't win either one of those. So that tells you how many.
How long did it take you to catch 86? Now this was live rattlesnakes.
Yes, sir.
Live venom, fill you full of venom rattlesnakes.
Yes, sir.
What'd you put them in?
Just a metal garbage can.
A metal garbage can
with a lid, and
what if the lid came off?
Oh, you better run.
If you turned in 86, how many other people turned in at one?
We had a big box, and we kept filling them up for a couple of weeks. We'd start a month or 2 out before we turned them all in. But
oh my gosh,
crawling around in rocks and getting in the snakiest places you could find, and I wouldn't do it anymore. That's when I was young. And
yeah, before you didn't have your responsibility and stuff, it didn't matter. Yeah. So you put rattlesnake in the
paella.
Paella. Pie. It's called paella.
Paella.
Okay.
That's how it's pronounced.
So that was part of the thing. Was that the clincher for you?
I think it was different than anybody else's, and it was the first year that they did a people's choice. So I was voted in by the people instead of the panel of judges.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think it was a little more authentic that way.
You want what makes people happy? What the people eating, the public made happy.
Right. And I'd done it a few more times after that. The competition. This is fun. You're not in the kitchen anymore. You're around other chefs that you know, people you may have worked with in the past.
Sure.
It's fun. Live music, drinking beer. And
it is amazing. In all the contests that I've judged, everything that I've judged, I've never once had the judges match the people's
Right.
contest. Never. And I've been doing it for a long time. And I've never had those two say, hey, they both win, because they're blind. The public's blind. The judge is not. So,
and I think once you put a label on somebody as a judge, they instantly start getting overcritical. You know what I mean? So
yeah, sure,
people are just eating it and then just taking a response to it. But
sure.
They're looking for stuff and
right. They're looking for how they're looking for the flavor profiles. They're looking for what is
texture,
with texture, all that. Yeah.
I think just the People's Choice was. It tastes good. That's the one I like. So.
Yeah, well, obviously it did. Yeah. You won.
Yeah, it was
your
cool.
little rattlesnake.
I think they're on their 10th one now.
Did the people know it was a rattlesnake in there?
Yeah, I mean, when you're at these things passing out stuff, you say what you're spilling your goods, and you get it down, and you probably say it 500 times a day. I mean, it was 600, 700 people there. But you just say it all day long.
You ever had
Texas flavored, inspired paella with rattlesnake and rabbit and crawfish and.
Have you ever had fried rattlesnake?
Oh yeah, I had it at that thing that we turned them in. They were cooking it there. You know,
there's some things that fried rattlesnake. Dean Fearing over here has got fried lobster. You know, I mean, there's a lot of cool dishes. Grady's got some down at Horseshoe Hill. You know, Great Chef Grady Spears. I mean, you can fry just about anything nowadays.
I saw a cool thing. I did it one time. Instead of a crab cake, we did a rattlesnake cake because the meat is almost like crab. It flakes off in little lumps and stuff.
Right.
So instead of a crab cake, I made a rattlesnake cake.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
What would you use for a binder in that? What was it?
It's the same stuff you
same
do.
Stuff, okay.
Like a mayo, eggs, breadcrumbs, onions, bell peppers in there.
What kind of was the flavor profile good? Yeah. For someone who's never tasted rattlesnake, and I could complain, what is the flavor to you? What does the flavor represent to you, the flavor profile of a rattlesnake?
I mean, I would say a cross between, this is going to be something different, but frog legs and a rabbit almost. You could come up with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've eaten rabbit or frog leg, but.
I've eaten both. Not a bunch, but I've eaten both.
If you mix those together, that's about what it's like.
Okay.
Everybody says chicken, but I'm not going to say that.
Everybody uses chicken for everything. What's that? Chicken. Chicken.
It doesn't taste like chicken.
No, chicken's got its own flavor.
It's a reptile. It doesn't taste like chicken.
Yeah, it's a reptile. A slithering reptile that'll kill you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did your stint there. Then when you left San Antonio, did you come back here?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a little venture. I tried to a little step out on my own. I tried to open my own Spanish restaurant to kind of go off the heels of that paella win.
Sure.
And we featured paella and stuff, and I partnered up with some people, and long story short, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And so I packed it up.
Listen, a lot of restaurant concepts don't work.
Yeah, I always say I better have tried and failed than never tried at all.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
well, us being in the restaurant business for over 100 years, my family. Nowadays, restaurant concepts used to last a long time. Nowadays, a good restaurant or bar concept, man, 3 to 5 years. And you've got to really do some major change. You got to remodel, you got to reboot, or if you change your menu all the time, you got to freshen up the interior. I mean, you just can't go longevity anymore. You've got to make changes. So
there's always a new place right across the street.
And nowadays, oh my God, Dallas-Fort Worth, the culinary scene is not just here, but L.A., New York, Dallas-Fort Worth, Miami. The culinary scene is crazy.
Yeah.
The restaurants open up, the new things they do, menus change all the time, seasonally, weekly, daily. I mean, it's just amazing.
I think I came up with a concept one time, have a restaurant, one central building, and you change that restaurant completely 4 times a year.
Oh, that's neat.
But it's in the same building.
Yeah, so once a quarter, you change it.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Stay with the times, mix it up.
Mix it up. Yeah. So you came back to Fort Worth after that?
Yeah, and then I went to work for John Bonnell at Waters. I worked for him for 3 years.
We did a television program with United John one time.
That's where I met you.
Yeah, and you did that was a good episode, by the way. But you had oysters. You had a huge menu there.
Yeah, and that's where it really started working with seafood because John, he would just order in random stuff.
Everything always fresh.
Scorpion fish, everything fresh. We would use 4 or 5 different seafood vendors, stuff flown in daily. Yeah, fresh.
He's emphatic about fresh, and he's got a lot of great ideas.
Oysters, I didn't know. A clue there were so many different types of oysters.
Yeah,
there's hundreds of them, and hundreds of types of oysters.
Yeah, y'all had more oysters than anybody in Fort Worth, right? By far,
more variety. Yeah, we had 13 because we did a daily, the Dirty Dozen,
right? For happy hour, right?
Yeah, so there's 12 different ones rotating all the time,
right?
plus house oysters, and we did a bunch of other things with oysters and stuff too.
Is he still doing that at Waters?
Yeah, I think they're still doing that down there.
So he would get those in. They would come in fresh, and so you learned a lot about oysters at that time, I guess.
Sure, just tasting them, trying them,
working
with them, different mignonettes and sauces and things that go with them. You get bored with it, Cracker and Tabasco gets old after a while. So we were playing around doing some Asian versions and some Mediterranean version type stuff.
What I do now, what I've done for the last 5 to 7 years, I obviously have to eat a lot of food. I was never a huge seafood eater and wasn't an expert on oysters or anything, but I've learned a lot in the last 5 years about seafood, and I learned a lot at John's that day at Waters doing that show with y'all. I mean, I tried. Jamie had me try a bunch of different oysters, and y'all had a bunch. I mean, I learned a lot of different flavors. Yeah. There's a new place that opened up in Fort Worth, and they won like best new place on it's like Yelp or something like that. I don't put a lot of stock in Yelp, but they did. Yeah. And they got baked oysters, and I'll tell you what, I had baked oysters before them at a place in New Orleans that's really, really good. I don't remember the name, but the Bourbon Street Oyster Bar in Fort Worth, then now in the Colony, they're opening up a new spot over there, same restaurant. They've got baked oysters that are just, oh my God, they're good.
Oh, it's like the old school Rockefeller style with spinach.
Baked on top, and then they got a little cheese. My God, they're
Parmesan
good.
cheese.
Woo, boy, they're good.
That is good stuff.
So what was your favorite thing to cook at Waters?
Just the seafood, obviously. One time he brought in, I never had worked with it before, but a scorpion fish.
Yeah, what is a scorpion? What is a scorpion fish?
It's red. The thing is red. And
just dark red?
Yeah, and it's got all these
tentacles?
No, fins and stuff, and it didn't really look like a scorpion. I don't know why they call it that, but
yeah.
And we got it sold. Sometimes you have to work around the names of things, and people are put off by the name.
Well, because if you say scorpion to me, I'm thinking venom. I'm thinking no.
Right.
Yesterday I saw a show where this guy has a mobile pizza place. He travels all over the country, and he sells scorpion pizza. So he makes a pizza. Have you seen that? Yeah. And he buys the scorpions. He buys them. They're prepackaged one at a time. The tails are cut off of them. Things are off. They're already cooked or dried, and then he puts them on a pizza. So you eat every bite, every slice has got a scorpion in it.
Wow. That's just
I don't get it.
It's a gimmick thing.
It's what he said. It's a gimmick, but he sells out every time.
Yeah. And
it's like I don't even desire to go around eating scorpions. Do you?
I have.
Yeah, I know.
I have eaten a scorpion.
So that was just your scorpion fish.
That was fun to play around with.
What was your favorite oyster?
Ooh, what were those? Oh, Naked Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
yeah, those are the good ones.
Yeah.
East Coast.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are good. I had that too. They were really good.
Damn bigs. These things were like this big around.
Are they farm raised?
No.
No.
He wouldn't do any of that.
Okay.
But damn bigs, and I kid you not, the oyster was that big.
Was it really?
Yeah.
But it still had flavor.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's hard to cut that one up.
Generally, when they get bigger, they lose. But that's amazing. That's
it was really
cool.
good. That's one we did the Asian like.
They could have just called it Texas size.
Yeah. Damn bigs.
Damn bigs. So what was your favorite dish besides the fish, or what was your favorite dish to cook there?
We were going back to my Mexico
roots.
The coastal Mexican cuisine. Yeah. We do take some 1 pound snappers, red snappers, and deep fry the whole thing, and it's served with it like a escabeche, which is like a pickled type accoutrement salad to go on top of it.
Wow.
And some hot chili oil all over the top of that. Every culture kind of has its own deep fried fish whole, and we would serve it whole, head on and everything. And
I bet the presentation was cool.
Flaky, all the flavors was taken.
It was obviously a light batter. Was it panko batter? Or
just rolled it in a little bit of flour and a little bit of cornmeal.
Okay.
And that's it. And then to a hot fryer.
Oh, wow.
No batter at all.
And you said was it set up right?
Yeah.
That's a great presentation.
And every time you try to do a whole fish, there's got to be one lady in that. I can't eat it because I don't want to look at its face. every time. So you'd have to take it in the back, cut it.
It'd be funny. If you could get some fake little plastic glasses and do the fish, and then put the little glasses on the fish as it went out. Oh my God, it'd be funny just to watch people's expressions. Right. Get people. Hey, it's all about experiences. That's funny. So you really enjoyed that, and now you're working at now you're working at a place I love, Texas Republic.
Yes, sir.
And you've got a big menu over there. It's all fresh.
Yeah.
And you've got one of my favorite dishes one of my favorite comfort dishes that I love. You know, I love chips.
Yeah.
I love nachos. I love cheese. Who doesn't it?
Right.
If you're a Texas person and you don't love chips and queso or chips and salsa, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You're not a Texan.
Right. And we go a little bit further. We've thrown in smoked brisket in with those
Smoked
chips
brisket.
and cheese.
I like that dish so much I did an episode on Fox 4 with it, and everybody at Fox Television loved that dish.
I remember that. They were like, wow, what is that?
Tell everybody what that dish is called and how it's prepared and how you make it.
Well, it's a trash can nacho, and it's a layered nacho. We put it in a number 10 can. We cut the bottom out of it. We had a bunch of those laying around. And it's just layered chips, cheese, queso, jalapenos, everything that you could imagine putting on a nacho.
But hang on, you prepare fresh. This is not stuff that you just it's out of a jar. It's all cut up. That's when you
we smoke our own brisket.
Right.
We'll make our own chips.
Right.
Make our own guacamole.
Right.
Make everything from scratch.
Right.
And it's just layered in there 2 to 3 times, and it comes out on that can, and you pull it off, and the cheese runs down, and it's a reaction from somebody every time. It's like food that's like moving or something, because sometimes it falls over and they laugh and whatever, but it's a different response from everybody each time.
I've had like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 times. I did that display. So I told everybody that morning at Fox, I said, I don't know if it's going to come out. I'm not sure, because we have to assemble everything there.
Right.
And I said, I don't know. And they were all standing back behind, on the set back behind. There was 8 or 10 of them all watching,
anticipating
what was going to happen. Was going to fall on the floor. And I took it off. It was perfect. I said, ta-da!
Yeah. Like you've been doing it forever.
Like I've been doing it forever. So, eating's all about, it's presentation first, it's aroma second, and then taste third.
Right.
And so that thing's got to, and every time somebody sees that presentation, that video, they go, wow.
Yeah.
You sell a lot of it, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It's a top seller.
Is it top seller? Yeah. So so can you run through your menu real quick at Texas Republic?
It's a bar first, obviously.
It's a bar, but okay, hang on. It gets a bad rap from people because when I tell them Texas Republic Bar and Kitchen, I start telling people Texas Republic. Because if I tell them Texas Republic Bar and Kitchen, they think they're a bar. But in the daytime, you get great food all the time, but you can go there just to eat.
Right.
And it's got good food.
And a lot of people don't really know that about us yet.
That's why, yeah.
But we do brunch on Saturday and Sunday, and that's where we kind of shine. Those are big food days.
Right.
We've got football games and so forth going on. We sell some food on Saturday and Sunday.
Do you still have a Bloody Mary bar?
Yeah, we do that on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a big Bloody Mary bar.
Yeah.
That's a fresh Bloody Mary bar.
Yeah, all kinds of house-made pickles, anything you could imagine put in a Bloody Mary, from grilled cheese, bacon, pickled green beans, asparagus, all the stuff.
Everything's prepared fresh too. It's not like it's not prepackaged bar food. I mean,
I treat everything with respect. I've often said, if I'm making a cheeseburger, a chicken wing, or searing a piece of foie gras, it's the same love that goes into it all.
All.
We fresh ground meat, make our own hamburger patties.
You know what that's called, don't you?
Love.
It's called passion. Passion for what you do, man.
That's right.
Passion.
You got to do that.
That's right. But you've got award-winning burgers. I've had I don't know 5, 6 year burgers.
Yeah.
What's the really big burger? What's the burger with the big cheese skirt on it?
Oh, that's the jalapeno popper burger.
Okay, yeah, and it's got a big cheese skirt out.
Yeah, we use like a cream cheese, cheddar cheese spread, almost like to assimilate with.
Right.
Some poppers have that in there, and then we have 2 poppers with cheddar cheese in them, ranch aioli, bacon, more jalapenos on that, and another popper on top.
It's a big burger too. That's all served on a tray with French fries, right?
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, people like that. That's a top seller on the burger too.
Yeah.
And then we have a brisket burger as well, and then the classic burger. That's everybody's favorite. The classic's straight up.
You have one more big burger, but you've got the jalapeno popper. Do you have another
brisket burger?
Brisket burger. Okay,
yeah, it's got fried onions on it.
That's
bacon.
right. It's about that tall, right, or something?
Yeah, it's a big old patty, and then big old helping of chopped brisket on top of that,
and then onion rings.
What's crispy fried onions?
Yeah, and did you make fresh there?
Yeah, everything's fresh.
I'm gonna say again, no prepackaged bar food. No prepackaged.
Nope. I'll tell you, wings. We'll talk about wings for a minute.
Yeah, let's talk about wings.
I bring them in fresh, and they're brined. I brine them for 24 hours. Nobody does this for a chicken wing. I brine it for 24 hours. Then we strain those out, fry them once, and then they get refrigerated, and then we fry them again. So that's a lot of effort to go into cooking a chicken wing.
Okay, for the average person who doesn't watch Food Network or anything, tell them what brining is.
Brining is just a solution typically of
it's soaps.
equal parts salt and sugar and to a gallon of water. 1 cup salt, 1 cup sugar to a gallon of water. You can also add other flavorings in there, some chili flake or peppercorns or bay leaves or whatever you want to put in.
Doing the brine for 24 hours, it creates a certain flavor profile in that wing.
Also, it breaks the meat down and it causes it to be tender. That's why anybody that ever cooks a turkey at Thanksgiving, it needs to be brined. That's where you get the most juiciest,
juicy tender. Gotta love that succulent meat.
Gotta be brined.
Gotta be brined.
And that's for a chicken wing. So that just kind of lets you know what kind of love and passion.
Hey, we can start a new campaign. I brine. Get some stickers made.
You got to do it. They're brining everything now, but
yeah. So that's a big deal if you're watching the food shows. How many different flavors of wings do you have?
I think we're rolling with 6.
And you make your own hot sauce?
Yep, I do.
And you make your own salsa?
Yep.
What's your favorite wing you sell there?
I like that Texas hot. That's what I call it, Texas hot. TXX hot. And it's based with serranos. I throw in a couple little habaneros, give it some heat. Some other little secret ingredients I can't disclose right now, but people like it, and I do warn them. It is hot, and
hang on now. Everybody's different. Everybody's level of hot is different,
right?
I
eat a lot of hot stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
And when I tell them it's hot,
it's hot, brother. It's hot.
I go. A lot of people tell you that, but I'm telling you,
it's hot. Yeah. It's hot. What's your favorite thing on the brunch menu?
What are we doing on that brunch menu? Just being from classically trained, I have a version of Eggs Benedict. We call it Texas Egg Benedict.
Is that what you served me that one day? The Texas Egg?
No, okay. I was messing around with you that day. I just made you something.
Good. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like it when you do that. I like to have special stuff.
That was like a version of a...
Makes me feel special.
Yeah. You are special.
Yeah, I'm special, all right. But no, my mom was saying, Trey, you're special. I knew what she meant.
But that... Texas Eggs Benedict, we just put it on buttermilk biscuits, sausage.
Yeah.
We poached eggs, obviously. That's what a poached egg comes.
Size of an 18-wheeler. Literally, it's that big.
Yeah, it's huge.
And so if you want to watch football, baseball, whatever, I mean, and it's not, unless it's some crazy major sporting event, there's so much room there that you're not cramped. You can eat great brunch, have a few drinks. Even if you don't want to drink, if you just want to have a great brunch and watch TV, you don't have to drink to go in there.
Yeah, there's plenty of people coming in just for brunch.
Oh, yeah.
And now we got upstairs with another big TV up there.
Oh, my gosh, that new patio is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's the biggest patio on 7th Street, isn't it? By far. Inside or outside, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's big.
Real big.
And so brunch, and then what time? You all serve food all the way to 2 a.m., right?
No.
12.
Kitchen closed at 11.
11, okay.
Yeah.
And I was going to guess 11.
It gets into the drinking time.
Oh, that's right. It gets crazy after midnight there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For some reason, their business, they get hammered between 11:30 and 12.
I call it about 9:30 booty shaking start.
Booty shaking starts.
That's when it happens.
Well, because y'all have a lot of great DJs coming here. You got DJs. I mean, some of the DJs are phenomenal. Like y'all had. Did you have Snoop Dogg? No, you didn't have Snoop Dogg. Who was it?
Little John.
You had Little John. I love him.
I don't know.
There's been a bunch, but they do a good job of entertainment there.
Right. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, but they got Texas Republic, they got the Yard, they've got Landmark, they've got Club I Love in Dallas in Uptown Theory. Mm-hmm. Boy, that place is cool. I mean, talk about watching people. I love to watch people.
Yeah,
going to drink some whiskey, but I love to watch people, and it's always fantastic.
Yeah, these are the places to do that.
I'm telling
you, for
you.
sure.
I'm telling you, I love the new patio. You can look down. There's no other place on 7th Street you can look down. You can look all the way down that street there, all the way down. What's that street? Oh. I can't remember what that street's called. Anyway, you can look all the way down the street. You see people coming, whatever.
Yeah, it's a busy little area nowadays.
It is busy.
That place used to not be like that 10 years ago.
No, it wasn't. No, it's grown in the last 3 years. It's been crazy. Okay, so what's your favorite thing on that menu? If you're going to eat, what was your one thing you'd like there?
I mean, that brisket burger is pretty hard to beat.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah, hard to beat because we do smoke our own brisket. And that's a 12-hour smoke.
That's awesome. All right, guys, so we are going to, if you're looking for Texas Republic Bar and Kitchen, you can go to Texas. It's Texas. You can Google Texas Republic, but they have obviously on Facebook. They're on all social media. They do a great job on social media.
It'll pop right up.
It'll pop right up. Yeah, they're big time. And if you're looking for some of Clint's menu items, I'm telling you, the menu over there is great. It's all fresh, prepared fresh. You'll have even if you're not drinking, if you just want to go eat, hang out.
It's a good
music.
place after drinking too.
Yeah,
so
it is.
brunches are good hangover cure stuff.
Good hangovers, good day drinking hangover cures. And if you're looking for us, you can find me at Trey'sChowdown.com, all our social media, YouTube. If you're looking for us on Spoony, you can find us at Spoony.com or just at Spoony on all the platforms. And if you want to watch our shows, you can rewatch them anytime on YouTube. And also they're replayed weekly on iHeartRadio and Dash. And then, of course, you can tune in every Friday. And Clint, we really enjoyed having you here,
Thanks,
man.
Trey, man. It's been fun.
So you're going to be there for a while. And then if they want, you're on Facebook. If they want to check you out, you're on Facebook.
Yeah. A little bit.
He doesn't really like social media. He hates telephone. For God's sake, don't try to call him.
Yeah.
He'll call you back in about 24 days.
Maybe.
But we really enjoyed having you here.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
And hopefully we'll be able to come see you at Texas Republic.
Yeah.
And I will. And we've had another great show here.
Hey, actually, to listeners, you can find it at TexasRepublicFW.com, and I'll post that on this right after we wrap up. So
Texas Republic. What?
Yes, TexasRepublicFW.com.
Well, I don't know what I'd do without you guys in the booth in there. I don't know what I'd do without y'all.
I don't know what I'd do without you in there. I'd be kind of bored. I had nothing to do.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Anyway, we really appreciate you being here, Clint. And we had another great show here. Tune in next Friday live at 10 and we will see y'all about then.
Hey, we got any events coming up this weekend?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Nothing?
I got events I'm going to, but nothing that I am a part of.
Yeah, well, good. You finally get to take a nap, dude. You sleep less than I do.
I got the events. I'm just not hosting or I'm going to go. I don't have any part in it.
You get to be a fan this time.
Yeah.
All right, man. Y'all have a good weekend.
See you.